How you doing guys? Daniel back again with another video for you. Today I'll be taking a look through the pages of issue 5 of Combat Patrol magazine. Before we get started, I need to say a massive thank you to Darren McCormack Parker for sending me a scanned copy of his magazine. Without it, this video wouldn't be possible. At the time of writing the script for this video, I haven't yet managed to get a copy of the magazine myself, so the lovely model that comes with it eludes me. If I don't manage to get one, I might have to do a kit bash video and show you how to convert your own. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. Now on to the mag. As previously mentioned, this issue comes with a pretty unique and cool looking NCO miniature in the form of the Infernus Sergeant, stood in the classic Captain Morgan pose. But instead of a barrel, his foot rests on the burning remains of an ex-Tyrannid, freshly dispatched by the flame of his own trusty Pyre Blaster. This model isn't sold by Games Workshop, but the scalpers currently have the issue listed on eBay for £25. Similar unique character models from Games Workshop go for between £15 and £25, so why not split the difference and estimate a value of £20, meaning you're getting the model for around 50% of what you might otherwise pay for it. Opening up the magazine, we find the first page of 2 which cover the building of our fancy Infernus Sergeant. It seems pretty straightforward, but this guide could come in handy for anyone out there not lucky enough to get their hands on the issue, as getting to see how the model is posed step by step might make any conversions easier. Turning the page, we discover the next steps in our painting guides. It covers technique guides for base coating and manoeuvring your model to make it easier to paint. We're starting by painting the model from this issue, as well as revisiting some models we've already started and using Baraknar Burgundy for the first time. With the second colour applied to our Tyrannids and some skin tones picked out on our Marines, those of us following the guides will find our models slowly coming to life and aiding the immersion.
The Imperial Tith.
The Imperium of Man is a vast and hungry beast, and so it requires each of its worlds to pay some form of tithe, be it in the form of some vital raw material or simply bodies to fill the ranks of the vast armies of the Emperor. If a world fails to pay its tithe, the consequences will be dire. The collection of the Imperial Tithe is essential, for without it, the Imperium's armies would falter.
The Black Ships.
These ships are a feared sight indeed to those individuals in the Imperium with psychic talents. Many human psychers in the galaxy attempt to hide their power, but the Black Ships ploy the stars and seek them out. They travel from system to system, killing the most powerful psychers on sight, but binding others and forcing them into a life they never wanted. They may become astropaths sending messages across vast distances in the blink of an eye, or battle psychers forced to serve on the front lines of the Imperial Guard. Their life force may be drained from them completely to benefit the Corpse Emperor and power his life support machine, otherwise known as the Golden Throne. Whatever their fate, they will likely wish they were never blessed with such talents. The next couple of pages concern our Infernus Marine Sergeant. The first tells us a couple of things. The first being that many chapters, including the Ultramarines, mark their sergeants out by painting their helm red. The second is that we can now switch out our old sergeant model for this brand new one. If we've managed to get one, that is. I'm not bitter, you are. This page is followed by the now familiar origin table, though this is an expanded one with 6 options to roll. The potential pseudonyms for our new sergeant are as follows: 1. The Righteous Beacon, 2. The Purging Flame, 3. The Primarch's Torch, 4. The Swarm's Bane, 5. The Enlightener, or 6. The Giant Breaker. I'll let you speculate on how he might have earned these names. Alternatively, you can just pause and read for yourself.
Flames of Purification
is this week's mission. The narrative is set up in a fashion of our sergeant being his squad's lone survivor. Perhaps you didn't want this guy leading you after all. He's got some special juice for his gun to make it extra spicy, and he's going to try and speed run through the infestation sites we saw a few issues back. On this page we find out what's unique about this scenario. The aforementioned special juice for his gun comes in the form of 4 fuel canisters to choose from. The Sergeant can use each of them only once, and in doing so, his weapon's armour penetration increased to either -1, -2 or -3. With each of the infestation sites having slightly different profile, it's vital you use the -3 at the most opportune moment. The Turn 1 example goes on to explain how a save modifier, such as the AP of a weapon, works. Over the page, the Turn 2 example reinforces this with the Sergeant attacking a different infestation site this time. The final page of the scenario once again explains what the results of our mission mean for the narrative of the journey through the magazine. Dice and modifiers. This page introduces us to the idea of good dice rolling etiquette, as well as concepts such as a D3. It's nice to start out as you mean to go on in the hobby, and allowing your opponent to see your roll before attempting any rerolls is vital to creating an atmosphere that feels fair and honest. The following page goes into a little more detail regarding dice modifiers. The most common dice modifier is a weapon's AP value. If your opponent's model has a weapon with an AP value of -2, you simply combine the saving throws and the AP value. So a save roll of 2 becomes 0, 3 becomes 1, a 4 becomes a 2, and so on and so forth. If a weapon modifies a save in such a way that it's impossible to make a successful saving throw, there's no need to roll the dice, so skip it and apply the damage appropriately. We also get an example of a characteristic modifier, but we'll see that in more detail in a later issue. Turning to the internal back page, we see a lovely image of some Ultramarines defending a fortress against an advancing Tyranid force. I could look at this kind of picture for hours, playing out scenarios in my mind's eye and getting some snippets of what's going on in various parts of the picture. The back page reminds us that next week we're getting 5 Barb Gaunts, and by the looks of it, that's the first of 3 Tyranid issues in a row. Issues 7 and 8 coming with a whopping 20 Termagants and 2 Ripper Swarms in total. We're really starting to get that endless swarm vibe from the Tyranids now. Once again, thanks to Darren McCormack Parker for helping me out, sending me the scanned copy of his issue. Until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield.